I'm Jenny Carlson, just back from the Women's College World Series, a must-win game, Oklahoma and Florida. And wow, what a softball game. 8 innings, 1 extra innings, Oklahoma winning, walk-off home run by Jayda Coleman, 6-5 to advance to the National Championship Series, best of 3 series, starting Wednesday against Texas. We'll talk more about that in a second, but there's a lot about this game that we need to get to, so much to dissect. Let's start with Ella Parker. Unbelievable day by the Sooner freshman. She went 3 for 3 with 3 RBIs and 1 massive collision at second base. It happened in the 5th inning. She hits a line drive into right field, and she doesn't really hesitate at first base. She was going for second, but the ball was quickly thrown into second base. It was actually thrown to shortstop Skylar Wallace, the Gators' excellent shortstop. She had the ball coming to her in plenty of time, but the way that the ball came in, the way that Skylar Wallace was positioned, and Ella Parker sliding, they collided. Both went down and were really looked to be badly injured. But Skylar Wallace gets up. She stays in the game at shortstop for Florida. Ella Parker eventually sits up. She ends up going to the bench for a pinch runner. We didn't know at the time what her status would be. She seemed okay, but she'd obviously taken quite a hit. You've suspected that concussion protocols would have to be followed. Patty Gasso, the OU coach, saying after the game that they absolutely were followed and that Ella Parker passed all of them. And lo and behold, there she was back in the game in the 6th inning. And she delivers right after being hurt. We'll talk more about this in a second. But I also want to mention that, one of the first things she did, the first hit she had in the game, came in the bottom of the 1st inning after Florida had taken a 2-0 lead. And she hits a home run, a 2-0 bomb that gets the game tied. I thought it was a huge moment for the Sooners after seeing Florida take that early lead on starter Kelly Maxwell. You wondered if the Sooner confidence was shaken after they get beat badly on Monday by the Gators. I don't know if there's any doubt that creeps in at that point. You have to think that there starts to be at least some whispers of that. But Ella Parker's home run in the bottom of the 1st inning really kind of staved that off. And then Kelly Maxwell just got stronger as the game went on. She had a very weird stat line today. She pitched the whole game, threw 148 pitches, a really a blue-collar effort by Kelly Maxwell today in that start. But she gave up 5 earned runs, but only allowed 4 hits. So really odd, only 4 hits for Florida. 3 of them were home runs to score those 5 runs. They scored all their runs on home runs. So again, a weird stat line. Kelly Maxwell strikes out 8. And again, as the game went on, she got a lot stronger. The 5 runs all came in the first 3 innings and had 1, 2, 3 innings in the 7th and the 8th inning. So just really sensed her feeling better and better as the game went on. She said after those first 3 innings, she and Sooner pitching coach Jen Rocha sat down and talked about some adjustments, really kind of just gritting it out, knuckling down, feeling like she had to be better in the circle. And she was. A really great performance by Kelly Maxwell today in a must-win game. And I mentioned that she sat down the Gators in the 7th and 8th. I have to think that got even easier, or she gained a little bit of energy after a 6th inning when Ella Parker, again, that inning after the collision, she drives in Avery Hodge for a game-tying 5th run for the Sooners. And remember, not only is Ella Parker a freshman, but she's driving in Avery Hodge, who is basically subbing for Elena Torres, who was hurt the other day, is still not played since she lost a pop fly in the sun and got hit in the face. Avery Hodge starts off that 6th inning with a double down the line. Just a great performance by her. Another solid outing at second base in Elena Torres' absence. Patty Gasso said after the game that they're still hoping to get Torres back for the championship series in some capacity, but they don't yet know. It sounds like it's kind of a day-to-day situation for her as she continues to heal from that injury. So we'll see. But all that to say, it all led up to Jayda Coleman, the Sooner senior, the Sooner center fielder, leading off the 8th inning. She hits a bomb to left field. It was close the way that the Florida outfielder was tracking it. You essentially thought she might be able to catch it at the wall, but instead it goes right over. It's a home run, a walk-off. Up until that point, Jayda Coleman, 1 for 3, had a strikeout, had a walk. She admitted after the game that she had some frustration at the plate. I think her first at bat might have been her most frustrating. She looked at a third strike that she did not agree with at all, but she hits the most important hit of the day for the Sooners, that home run to win in the 8th. Again, 6-5 OU over Florida in the must-win game out at the Women's College World Series. Of course, this now sets up Oklahoma and Texas in the championship series. Oklahoma going for an unprecedented 4th consecutive national championship. No other college softball program has done that, not even back in the days when UCLA, Arizona, they primarily dominated the sport, but even though they won tons of titles in a very short amount of time, none of those teams were ever able to go 4 in a row. So Oklahoma, at a time when the sport has really gotten better across the board, more really good teams in the sport of college softball, Oklahoma is still standing above this sport, and having a chance to go 4 straight would be unbelievable to see them do it. Texas, of course, stands in their way, a team that beat Oklahoma 2 of 3 this year in a series in Austin, but then Oklahoma came back in the Big 12 tournament to beat the Longhorns. So a series that is even, both teams winning 2 games this year. Now it's a best of 3. Who wins the best of 3? Who gets to 2 wins first this week at the Women's College World Series? Lots of interesting things that I'm curious about. Texas has thrown Tegan Cavan, their freshman phenom pitcher, in games when they've had a chance to get her a day's rest, which they have as they've won every game. They pitched her in their opener, then came back with Mac Morgan in their second game, came back with Tegan Cavan in a really what they expected to be a tough matchup in the must-win one scenario that they had set up against Stanford. Knew it was going to be against Nigeri Kennedy, the player of the year. Tegan Cavan comes out and pitches fantastically, shuts out Stanford. Will she be back on a day's rest? I suspect yes, but Texas does have many options. They've thrown a lot of different pitchers and starting roles this year, so who they throw on Wednesday in Game 1 will be very interesting. Who Oklahoma throws in Game 1 will be very interesting. After Kelly Maxwell, as I said, she goes 148 pitches against Florida on Tuesday. I doubt she's available on Wednesday, at least not in a starting role. So is it Nicole May? Is it Kirsten Deal? We'll have to see. My guess is that Nicole May will get the start, but I don't know if Oklahoma feels like the matchup might be better with Kirsten Deal. We'll see what happens in that Game 1. But obviously, the biggest thing will be, can the Oklahoma Bats, can they help the pitchers, no matter who's out there? Oklahoma does not have as many quality pitchers, as many top shelf pitchers. They haven't at least pitched that way this season. Not as many as Texas has. So the hitters are going to have to come through for Oklahoma in this best of 3 series. Lots of things yet to be seen. Who wins those battles? This is obviously a final go for these 2 teams as Big 12 teams before they head to the SEC. So just should be a great environment out at Devon Park starting Wednesday night, best of 3, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday if necessary. We'll see if Oklahoma can get number 4 or if Texas can stop the dynasty. Stay right here for lots more. We'll have tons more coverage from the Women's College World Series at my Substack as well as on my YouTube channel. If you'll subscribe, that'll help me a ton. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.